Hello, my name is Heidi Walbach. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Today we're going to be talking about why self-talk matters. The words you say are so powerful, and we don't even really realize how powerful they are because a lot of times we just go off how we feel. So my name again is Heidi Walbach. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am with Bridging Hope Counseling, and we are a counseling agency that is located out of Lino Lakes, Buffalo, and Rogers, Minnesota. We've been doing these videos live on Facebook, and then we also have a YouTube channel, so please check us out on YouTube. Make sure to click subscribe and then click the bell to get notifications for any new videos that we have. So we appreciate you sharing these, liking them, and commenting and giving us feedback as well. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about self-talk matters, and I'm going to be giving you 8 phrases that we need to avoid that gets into this negative self-talk and what we can do instead. So phrases that we can say instead. So a couple months ago, I had a family member say to me, we're spending time at a family cabin, and this family member said, I will always have sleep problems. I've always had sleep problems. And it was just a little comment. I didn't even really think about it. And then later, I started wondering about this through the lens of mental health. And I was thinking, what if she would have said, I've always had depression. And the comment was said with such confidence that I have sleep problems, I have always had sleep problems, and I always will have sleep problems. And a lot of times what happens is, because of how we feel, so we're feeling depression, we're feeling this high anxiety, we tell ourselves, I will always have depression, or I've always had anxiety, and I always will. And so there's this, because I feel this way, and because I look back, and this is how I've been, this is how it's always going to be. And we don't think about the words that we say can cause us to, the symptoms to keep increasing and just kind of stay there. It's almost like it makes a bed for these symptoms. And what I wanted to do a video on was really like how we can break free from these hopeless comments. And I don't want to say it in a way where, because I know sometimes when I talk like this, people get really offended. They'll get offended, like, well, that is how I feel. And if that is you, as I'm talking, and there's like this feeling of offense that's starting to rise up in you, just notice that and just get curious and think, okay, what if I start trying this other way? What if? How is it helping me to say these phrases and to think this way? So just kind of be open and just kind of get curious about the possibility of maybe something different. And, just kind of take a chance. And it doesn't mean I'm saying you don't have these depressions. I'm not negating the depression or anxiety or the trauma or whatever that difficulty is. I'm just merely inviting in another option. Because these thoughts and feelings that we have seem so innocent and seem so small that we don't even notice them. And even when this friend said this, like, well, I just always had sleep problems, it was just like no big deal when she's saying this, thinking, hey, no, you cannot have sleep problems. It is possible for you to not have sleep problems. Because these comments, they can take away our hope. And we want to kind of identify, I'm going to give you guys 8 phrases today that can lead our hope to kind of slip away without us even knowing it. And so I'm going to also give suggestions on how we can do this. So the first one, number 1, is I have always been this way. Okay, when we say something like this, our sense of self kind of crumbles in these moments, and we're giving power to whatever it is that we're saying. That's how we've always been. So like my mom, my dad, whatever family member, whoever it is, has always been this way. You could say it about someone else too. So it's also ourselves and other people. So when you say it, there's no growth, there's no opportunity, there's no like hope for change in that comment. If I've always been depressed communicates I always will be depressed. There's no window, there's no open door or place for depression to leave. So what do we do instead? So instead, let's say I've been struggling with depression symptoms for 10 years, is just an example, and I really want to beat it. This is speaking the truth. It's not negating that those depression symptoms have been there, but it's saying this is what I have experienced and I want to get out of this. I want to beat this. And there's that hope that I want to be free. So it's identifying what you desire and what will allow you to thrive instead of just survive. Okay? So number 2 is these always, never, no one, everyone. We want to stay away from that. When we use these extremes or absolutes in sentences, we take something little and we make it big. We often will use them for emphasis in a certain situation, so again, harmless, but when they're attached to our mental health or to other people, it can be really destructive. And you can have a conversation with someone that all of a sudden it's heightened and there's an argument when before it seemed like we were just talking. How did that happen? Because we jumped in and we said, you're always like this. Oh boy, let's back up a little bit. It invites people to be defensive. So what do we do instead? When you notice yourself saying these words, back up and recognize the facts. Most of the time, we are exaggerating the facts when we use these comments. Okay, instead of I have always had depression, say the facts instead of ignoring the truth of the situation. I've been struggling with depression symptoms on and off for 10 years, and I want to beat it. Okay, it's not always, it's the last 10 years. Yep, that feels like a really long time because you're right in the middle of it, but it's not always. That's not the truth. Think about it. Doesn't that give you a little hope? Instead of always your whole life, it's the last 10 years. Okay, so we're not lying, we're saying the truth, but it doesn't intensify the situation and make it worse. Yes, still tough, it's still difficult, but these are the facts and there's hope in your truth. All right, so number 3 is we want to stay away from I can't, I won't, you shouldn't. All right, this is an easy slip that we do without even realizing it. It's habitual, okay? This is just this habit. My husband is a very funny guy and he's super witty, and he'll say things that can get a laugh from other people and not realizing the power that he has in them. A common comment that he will say is, oh, I don't read, okay? And he jokes about it, and it seems like this helpless comment, but it kind of creates this victim mindset of there's little freedom for this person who can maybe think maybe he could read, or maybe there could be an option for him to read. And so he's made up his mind, and that's it. I don't read. Okay, so let's try this instead. We need to move to a more empowered vocabulary, from this place of victimhood to empowerment action, so we can move into something. What if my husband actually is an excellent reader? What if there is so much for him to be gained and insight for him to grow from if he would just shift his vocabulary a little? He could say, I didn't grow up reading very much, and I had a teacher that didn't believe I could do it. But now I am changing that. I want to read, and I love the growth that's happening within me when I read. Okay, maybe he wouldn't exactly say that, but I'm giving you an example. So in defense of him, I have seen a change in this vocabulary. So I'm kind of using that as an example because even when I would kind of start to introduce, you can, or he would start to think, oh, maybe I can. And it moves us out of this place of I can't to maybe I can. And he's actually started doing some listening to books on tape and with things that he's really passionate about. So there really is hope in this. And I've seen movement and action from even people in my personal life with these little comments. So number 4 comment that we want to stay away from is I am so busy. This communicates so many things, but one is how you're so important and that you have more going on than other people. I'm sure that's not your intention, but it is what it communicates. And the biggest problem with this statement on your mental health is that it cuts you off from seeing different priorities and possibilities. When you say I'm too busy, it means that you don't have any capacity to be at peace or think about things that really matter, like love, joy, peace, family, whatever it is that you're wanting more of. It kind of blocks you off. And we'll even see this with people who are wanting to come to counseling and they're saying, yeah, I want this, but there's not a commitment to say, this is a priority, my mental health is important, other things are more important because I'm so busy. And I'm not like making fun of it or negating it. It's a mindset, it's a comment. And so if we can kind of shift out of this and recognize what we're doing, we can open up some doors of possibilities. So what do we do instead? The most important thing that you can do for your mental health is to slow down and be at peace, even if it's for 5 minutes. I am not this kind of person, so I'm like a total go, go, go kind of a person. And so when I started really, really diving into knowing more about my faith and mental health and really what makes this work, when I found out it was peace, I was like, ugh, boy, I got a lot of work to do. And so since then, it has been a journey for me personally, but I've really learned the kind of the proven fact of being able to sit and do nothing. So the next time someone answers you and they say how you are doing, you can answer more clearly, honestly, and peacefully, because you've been able to take those moments to just be still, even if it's 5 minutes. So you could say something like, oh, if someone asks you how you're doing, I'm doing well. Honestly, there's many changes with school this week, and it's going well so far. We spent some time up north last weekend. You say some things that are more descriptive about what's going on in your life instead of, oh, I'm so busy. This like overwhelming, I'm so busy. Maybe give a little details about what's going on. Okay? You could even say, I'm kind of unsure about the school schedule and I'm kind of struggling with this. That's fine. That's the truth. But instead of this like overarching, I'm so busy, it's a little bit of that overwhelming feeling that comes up, and the mental health piece it can get worse when we say comments like this. So this opens up possibilities of what is done, like the joy in your life. We spent some time up north last weekend, or whatever details you want to share. Even if you feel busy and stressed in the moment, we need to stop saying it. We need to start saying possibilities and hope instead. All right, so number 5, we want to move away from saying I have depression and I have anxiety. Okay, don't get me on my soapbox about this. Sometimes I feel alone in communicating this and very passionate about this. But people struggle so much with mental health symptoms simply because of the diagnosis of the mental health. And I understand insurance requires this to be able to use your benefits, so I understand that. But we need to shift away from using this language out loud to ourselves and to other people. What do we do instead? Well, what we do is recognize you are not depression. You are not anxiety. You are a person. You are a beautiful human being made to thrive, and you have a purpose in this world. A better way to communicate your struggle is, I have been struggling with depression symptoms this weekend, and I spent more time in bed than I would have liked to. Or the anxiety symptoms stopped me from going out with my friends. Okay, that's the truth, all right? But what it does is it externalizes the symptoms. So it separates who you are from your identity. So like who I am is not, like I am Heidi, let's say I'm struggling with depression. This water bottle is depression. I am not depression. It's separate from me, from who I am. I'm a human being that has all these joys and excitements and things that I like to do. I am not depression. Okay, so it takes it away, it moves it away from who I am and externalizes the diagnosis. And so it separates me from what's going on. It doesn't ignore the problem. You can still feel depressed, but it separates you from your identity, and it brings hope and empowerment to your identity instead of focusing on the problem. All right, so number 6 is what we need to avoid is don't tell them this, or don't tell them I told you this, but, and then you ... When you say this, you're giving other people the clear-cut reason to really never tell you anything significant, because you're just going to spread it around. It's this desire and joy for gossip. And why did I put this in here? Okay, I put this in here because what this does is it actually creates negative self-talk about yourself, because you're thinking this is about other people. But if you're gossiping about other people and you have this desire within you to want to gossip, it means there's a negative thinking about yourself. Okay, so it's like, what are they not doing? What am I not doing? And there's this constant like thinking of, I don't trust other people, I'm not trusting myself, and there's just kind of this constant negativity that we have. And what it communicates to other people is that you're not to be trusted. All right, so what do we do instead? Get rid of gossip and the desire for it. Notice the harm that it causes. Start to kind of notice your awareness. Notice how it feels when you hear someone that has gossiped about you. All right, it's hard at first to do this, but you can be so much more peaceful. Do you want to be a trusted person? Don't gossip and don't tell secrets to other people. All right, so number 7, the last one, is one word that we need to eliminate is the word but. All right, a lot of times we use this all the time. When someone asks you how your day is going and you say, oh, it's okay, but I don't know, I've been really tired. And so this word but, it just kind of negates what you're actually trying to say. If you generally feel the need to share a negative thought or emotion with someone, just do it, but do it sparingly. Not only are you talking yourself down and out, but energetically you're doing the same for the people who are listening to. So what do we do instead of using the word but? we want to use the word and instead. It's empowering. So thank you for watching. I did write a blog on this, so please check out the blog to see. It's pretty much the same thing, but kind of goes into it where you can kind of visually see it. It's nice to be able to see these things visually. And I think after watching this, some people you might think, well, I am depressed, or I am this way, or, you know, and like I said before, I just want to invite you again to just open up the possibility of a different way to thinking, because has that been helpful for you? Has it been working to think and to say those things about yourself? It is possible to kind of bring healing and change. Like I said before, I am depressed is how you feel, all right? Feelings do not last forever. And feelings can lie to us, and they can actually spin more and more depression symptoms. All right, so remember what led to the feelings, the judgments, the thoughts, the interpretations that happened before, okay, that don't need to be there, okay, that I'm no good, that I'm not worthy, the lies that then bring the depression thought. Do you want to be mentally healthy? I know that I do. Do you want to have more peace? Do you want to have more joy? Do you want to feel more love and to give out more love? So start noticing if you're saying some of these phrases and break free from them. Notice how they make you feel and what happens when you start to eliminate them. I think sometimes I've noticed that when people are used to the way that they are, they don't even know what it's like to even feel hopeful or get out of that hole of despair. It's like, well, this is just how I've always been. And so breaking free of this thinking in these little comments that we say can help even just a little bit. It's empowering to create these new healthy habits to improve our mental health. And it's so worth it, you guys, because if we have more people doing this, it's so good to have more of us these healthy mental health habits. A couple quotes. It only takes one negative comment to kill a dream. Okay, and then another one is by Mary J. Blige. Negative words are like powerful boomerangs, so be careful what you say about others and yourself. So let's move on and let's start to make more positive comments about ourselves, that you are worthy, you are okay, and let's have a hopeful day. Thank you so much for watching.